Right, and United are about to enter one of the most important seasons in our recent history. Obviously, every season feels like it's an important one, and I've probably said this every single year, but I feel like this is different. Last season, we finished 8th. We got 60 points. It was one of our worst league finishes in the modern era. And there is context behind it, but facts are facts. And winning the FA Cup was a little bit of an inflection point in what was quite a downhill season. It was a little bit of a sigh of relief as well, I would think. I think it also bought Ten Hag a little bit of time, probably earned him the extension that he got in his contract, and it's given him a big opportunity. And this season does feel like it's the start of a new chapter. It's the INEOS era of Manchester United. It's no longer the Woodward era of Manchester United. That is completely over now, and there are new people involved at the top of the club. And with change comes expectation, and with Manchester United, there's always expectation. So let's have a look at 5 things that I think we should be expecting from Manchester United in the 24-25 season. First up then, I think it's hard to judge INEOS too much at the moment. They've only just got through the door. They're still probably having inductions in different places. But the difference between them and the Glazers is abundantly clear. From now on, we can attribute football decisions to INEOS, and the chapter begins right now. Hopefully, successful decisions are going to impact next season's proceedings, and hopefully they will take in effect quickly, but some of the stuff that they're doing is going to take so long to really seep through into the joints of what we're about. Transfer business so far has moved rapidly. Xerxes and Yoro are already through the door, and that goes a long way for the pre-season preparations, and it's a massive positive, and that hopefully is going to continue as we get into the swing of pre-season, and we're not going to see signings coming in that are desperate, that we know we need in the very last week of the window. 2, improved squad depth. Now, there's bound to be improved squad depth next season. We've already been linked to a lot of players and a lot of positions, actually, that we've kind of got some cover in, obviously on top of the youngsters that seem like they're coming through as well. But I think that would be a real positive sign if we started to pad out the squad. Last season's woes were in part down to the lack of depth or real depth within the squad, and we got burnt out last season because of that limited squad depth. The injuries killed us, and being able to prepare a lot better this time around will do our chances of succeeding the absolute world of good, and I think we're going to see a big improvement in that regard. Number 3, Howson will get firing. Now, Howson's been impressive last season. I think that's undeniable. 16 goals is very solid for his first season. I think we all put 20 goals as the marker of like absolute success. And when you think about the drought that he went on, getting 16 goals over the line, he's done well there. And he's done well in a team that's not done well. You know, once again, it's hard to judge him entirely from how things went down this year. He is a top finisher and he has scored goals, but there could have been more goals. Far too often we saw him walking off the pitch without having a single shot on target. It's almost criminal on a football pitch if your striker is not getting a shot on target. His job is literally to be taking shots, and if you're not facilitating him with that, your team is dysfunctional. No, and if he hadn't struggled with the injuries he got himself, if his teammates hadn't struggled so much with injuries, I 100% think Rasmus would have got on the score sheet even more, and 20-25 goals wouldn't have been out of the realms of possibilities, I don't think, or even probabilities. Number 4, tactical evolution. Rightfully, Ten Hag faced a barrage of abuse by the English media based on his tactical choices. Next season, things have to change, and you can sort of see tweaks already being made to that. If you looked late on in the season, you could see that Ten Hag was experimenting with some tactical changes. He was looking at trying to do different things. We were picking the midfield more. We were pressing more effectively. We were more rigid and effective in possession. It was more easy to spot the sort of things that we were trying to do. And of course, Ten Hag himself came out, did the interview where he said that certain things have been done and certain sort of philosophies have been put into place because of the injuries. He doesn't want to teach 2 different ways of playing. He wants to teach us one way of playing. He wants to get that very right. Now, we saw in the FA Cup final, when you have to win that one game, he can be adaptable. He can do what he needs to do in a one-off game without really bending his philosophy too much. But you could also see the ideas starting to form in games prior to that. in pre-season, that's, I think, continued. United's new recruits reflect the vision I think Ten Hag has tactically for this season. Xerxes represents, I think, a fluid forward line, and Euro is the ball-playing, high-potential replacement for Varane that adds to our build-up. Him alongside Martinez should be very comfortable in possession. There are jigsaw pieces that are starting to be put into the right places, and that should result in positive results on the field. And because of the way modern football is, I think it'll be quite obvious tactical evolutions that we see. And we've obviously got Rene Hack, Ruud van Nistelrooy joining as part of the coaching staff. I think we'll see some improvements in that area. Number 5, a better season. Now, obviously, that's almost the worst season we could have ever had. We're bound to have a better season, really, hopefully. There's a bit of a buzz surrounding the club at the moment. There feels like there's off-pitch momentum, and we should be using the FA Cup to push on and really smash some expectations. Liverpool, as a time of recording, haven't signed a player. There's starting to be worries about people entering their last year of contract. Is that era over? It's possible, right? Arsenal, could they kick on and win the league? Challenge for City. City look like they could be selling some of their big players. Changes are afoot in the league. Then you've got the likes of Kobe Mainoo playing his first full season since reaching the stardom and starting last season, which started late due to injury. Same with Højlund. Mount, maybe he gets a good run at it. We're playing Europa football, so the expectation probably should be that United compete or win that thing. Summer window started off really well, giving us a lot of positivity. We still have targets to get over the line. We've still got work to do to move players on that are not fit for requirements. But we are in the right direction. It feels like there is momentum behind the team, behind the club, and that we're doing the right things for the right reasons, which is something that you couldn't always sort of guarantee with Manchester United in the last 15 years. The expectations are probably lower than they should be because of last season. But I think you can probably use that to your advantage a little bit. I think Manchester United should be comfortably top 4 this year. And we'd all love Ten Hag to continue his tradition of picking up a trophy every single season. If he finished top 4 and added the Europa League to his haul at Manchester United, setting us up for the first proper summer window that INEOS have been there for a year, I think we'd be in a real good position to start looking like a team that could compete from summer 26 onwards. Yeah, that's 5 expectations that I think we'll see from United next season. As always, I'd like to hear yours. Ten Hag's got a new deal. He's got to back that up. Otherwise, I think INEOS will, 1, be looking for answers, and 2, his replacement. But I think improvement's guaranteed. I think we were extremely unlucky with the injuries last season. I'm hoping we're going to be better than that with the injuries and therefore overall. But further investment and change is going to be required if we want to see genuine improvement to be able to challenge the likes of Manchester City and even Arsenal, to be honest. But let's see how the rest of the summer goes, and maybe we could reevaluate these little expectations with some ambitious targets getting over the line. But you guys let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.